Good evening, and welcome to True Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. Like I told y'all, I was supposed to have a guest on tonight, but we went down to a place on investigation, me and some of my team, and we did meet up with the eyewitness, with my eyewitness. But man, it rained so hard, and it was terrible. I kept losing a signal, but you just got a weird feeling about this area, So I'm gonna go ahead because I already had our encounters anyway. So, but I couldn't get her to do them today. I'm gonna go ahead and do them myself. Now there's three of them, and I'm gonna tell y'all her encounters now. Now her name is Bex. So without further ado, man, let's just jump right into her first encounter. Now Bex said that she moved from New Zealand down to Oregon. So her and her husband, her husband said, "Look, I'm gonna take you out, out in the wilderness, man, and we're gonna go out there and camp, and we're gonna have some fun." So she said they they pull off on the side of the road. She said they track, and she said they was just, deep in the woods, So she said the spot that they was at had a big, huge lake down there. So they set up camp and everything, and then they decided, to walk down down by this lake. So she said when she got down by this lake, she said for some odd reason she had got this funny feeling. And she said that it had got dead quiet. When I say dead quiet, I mean dead quiet. It just got silence. But she said she never knew nothing, about that. She just thought it was natural in the United States, being from, she from New Zealand. So she said it just got dead quiet. So she was throwing, rocks in the water, just kept throwing rocks. So her husband happened to look up over in the tree line. And just up this little small ravine, he said, "Baby, don't turn around. But it's this black thing up there looking at you." Of course, she's shocked, don't know what to do. She turns around anyway. She looks up there. She see this black humanoid creature on two legs standing there looking dead at her. Not the husband, but looking at her. So she jumped, And when she jumped, she said this thing, it just bolted. She said it was so fast, she never seen nothing move that fast in her life. So she kept asking her husband, she said, "What was that? What was that? Was it a bear? Was it a bear? Was it a bear? I don't know, what was it?" So her husband, I guess trying not to startle or scare, he said, "Well, this probably scared her too," because he was like, "Well, maybe it's an escaped prisoner." And she thought in her mind, she said, "Escaped prisoner? Why would he be out here in the middle of nowhere standing by a tree with all black on?" So she said she curious now. So they walks up. They walks up by the tree where they saw this humanoid figure at, and they looked down in the direction where it ran. They didn't see no sign number or nothing. So they walked down in that direction, and she said she looked down. She could see claw marks in the dirt. Like when it ran, it just left the claw marks in the dirt. And then she turned around, walked back up to where the tree was, and she saw four extinct claw marks on that tree. So she said, "Man, I don't know, I don't know what it was. Was it a bear? Was it a bear?" This is what she's saying in her head. Would she really know what she saw? But she trying to throw herself off like she saw something else. So they walked back down, and she was like, "I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here overnight." So he was like, "Look, man, it's gone. We're going to get up in the morning. We're going to leave." So she said, it was starting to get late. It was getting ready to get, dusk, getting ready to get dark. So she said they made a fire and everything. And she said she's standing with her back against the tree line. She said, so while she's standing there talking to her husband, she said she get this uneasy feeling again. She said that's when she knew something was over in the brush watching her. So she looked back. She don't see nothing. Turned back around. And her husband was like, is you all right? You all right? She said, yeah, I'm all right. She said, I just don't want to be here. He said, look, we leaving in the morning. So she said she turned and looked back towards the brush again. Still don't see nothing. But she can hear the brush moving. But she don't see nothing. So she turned back, and faced her husband again. He was like, look, you starting to scare me. Like, you starting to lose it. She was like, no, I just feel unease. I just feel unease. And then she said she heard this thing talk to her. Like using, like it used telepathy. And she said that this thing said, I'm going to get you when it get dark. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to take you. So she messed up. She don't tell her husband this. She don't tell her husband nothing that this thing said to her. So later on, now it's completely dark. They gets in the tent. The husband falls asleep. So she's sitting up in the tent, but she said it's dark. So she said when she was sitting up, that's when she heard something bipedal walking on 2 feet. Choo, 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 choo. She said, and when it got close to the tent, she said it was like it was shifting his feet from side to side. Well, she said this thing was walking bipedal. She said it just kept shifting his feet from side to side. She said, so she's sitting there. She really scared. She said, then this thing came around and it poked the tent and tapped the back of her head. She was like, oh my God, she jumped. She said she like to piss her pants. She said about 10 seconds, it did it again. Poked it. But this time, she said it did it a little harder. So she jumps again. About 15 seconds go past. Boom! Poke it again real hard. And it made her head jerk. You know what I mean? So now she really scared. Then it takes its hand. That's what she said, its hands. And it smacked the side of the tent. And when it slapped the side of that tent, she yelled and woke her husband up. She said, he said, God damn it, what you doing? You trying to scare me? Almost made me have a heart attack. You woke me up. So she was like, it's something outside of the tent. I told you. It's something outside of the tent. So she knew that he didn't believe her at first. But now he said, baby, I should have believed you when you first said something. So he said, don't worry, I got a gun. So he takes the gun and he cocks the hammer back on it. She said, then this thing said something to her again. And it said, won't no gun help you? A gun won't do nothing. She really messed up in the head. So he said, after about 10 seconds, she can hear this thing just walking. And just start running back up in the tree line. So she was like, look, man, I want to get up. I want to leave. I don't want to be here no more. He said, okay, daybreak, we're going to pack up. We're going to leave. She said, no, we're going to leave now. So she said they packed up, in the middle of the night, got their stuff together, you know what I mean? She said, and they chucked out of there, you know what I mean? Scared, but they left out of there. She said they got in the car. They was driving, back home. She said, and while she was driving home, she said this thing spoke to her again. And she said this thing said, where are you going? You can't hide. I'm going to find you. So she left. They went home. So she said, look, I got to leave here. So she wound up moving down to Florida. This is her first encounter. So I'm going to cut it off right there. And I'll be right back with her second encounter. So listen to this. Likes, thumbs up, comment. If you haven't subscribed, please go do so. I got a Cash App if anybody want to contribute to help me get the things I need for my YouTube channel. And it's Cash App $Marvin654. Thank you, and I love y'all so much. I'll be right back with another encounter.